The most important principle, the most important idea that underlines everything you're going to do if you're going to have success at managing your back pain is the idea of thinking about the amount of work your back can do before it gets angry as a bank balance. And just like a bank balance, day to day, the amount that's in there is going to be slightly dynamic based upon how many withdrawals you've made the day before and how many payments you've made into it. Once you understand this concept, that removes that mystery and that frustration as well. You don't understand why, yesterday the back was good, but today it was bad, today it's bad, or maybe last week the back was good and this week it's been bad all week, and you don't understand it, and it's almost like it's kind of dominating your life and you feel like you've got no control over it. And the reality is that your back is just merely responding to the withdrawals and the payments you've made to that bank balance. So say, for example, for easy numbers, that the average person needs to get, needs $100 in their bank account, so the amount of work that back can do during the day before it gets angry. So that includes just, getting out of bed in the morning, getting dressed, going to work, being at work all day, maybe coming back, spending time with the family. But it's a sort of low-level day. You need $100 in that bank account. As long as you get through the end of that day and you've still got $10 or $20 in that bank account spare, the back's going to be happy. The danger comes is when you get very close to zero, or even worse, you start to get overdrawn. That's when the back becomes like it's on that knife edge again. It's like it's going to go any second, or even worse, it does go, and you've got beyond the painkillers, the anti-inflammatories, all the things that you need to do to try and you've got to rest it again, let it slowly build up again, and then you're off. So once you get your head around the idea that it's like a bank account, you can start to think, well, if my back's bad today, what did I do yesterday? Was I slouching on the couch for hours on end? Was I picking up the kids all day long with bad form? Or maybe I was moving furniture, or I was at work and something happened at work. Or maybe I went to the gym, I was training hard, but I was a bit fatigued, and I was doing like a deadlift or a squat, and maybe my technique was a little bit off, and maybe I did too many sets that day and it kind of fatigued the back too much. And today now, because it's depleted or overdrawn, it's sore and it's edgy, they've got to take some anti-inflammatories, they've got to try and manage it through the day. Once you understand all those postures and movements and things that you might be doing bad habits-wise that are making withdrawals, your goal then is to manage them, or if not, remove them completely. Once you've done that, you've got your first level of control over the back pain, and it takes away that frustrating mystery that you're not quite sure why it's good or why it's bad. You can think to yourself, if it's bad today, what did I do yesterday? Maybe I was sat watching Netflix on a couch with really bad posture all day long, and perhaps that depleted it. Or maybe my bed's not quite right, or whatever it may be. I was bending badly yesterday. I was doing lots of heavy work in the garden, maybe with poor form, and it's kind of burnt it out. That gives you that first level of control, because you've got that first level of understanding. Now the flip side to that is that just like a bank balance you have with withdrawals, you can also make payments into that bank balance to build it back up again. Now that's going to be the right exercises and maybe stretches or soft tissue work for you that work specifically for you based on either the muscular imbalances you've got, the tight spots you tend to get, the overuse injuries you tend to get. It's all the right things for you, the right blend of things that help build that bank account. And your focus should always be, especially in the initial stages, is picking exercises that make tiny withdrawals but give you the biggest return on investment. So that your goal then is, say, at the moment your back's angry, you've only got $10 or $20 in that bank account. First goal, let's get you to $100, so you've got enough to get through day-to-day life and get through work without it constantly flaring up. Once we're at that point, let's start to over-engineer you. Let's give you maybe $150. So now you've got a bit of a safety buffer for the unexpected things in life. Once you've got that, that's you pretty much set for day to day. And you're still going to have to manage, from today going forward, you're going to have to manage the withdrawals, and you have to manage those payments going in, trying to keep that bank balance at 150, and that's your safety buffer for day to day stuff. If you want to then be able to weight train or just general fitness train, or maybe do a sport, wherever it may be, you're going to need more again. So you might need more like $200, maybe even up to as much as $300 to be able to get through day to day and do your training or sport and the back still be good. So then your goal with your training program then is to try and build strength, and particularly strength endurance, to give you that extra again for whatever else it is that you want to do sport or training wise. And then again, going forward, as long as you maintain that bank account, you know, in the plus, and you don't let it get too low or go overdrawn, that's how you're going to consistently keep that back happy and get yourself out this frustrating cycle of, you know, good days, and then it gets fatigued and you're bad, you have to rest for a while, and then once you've rested it, it goes back to good again. You can just sort of keep it a bit more consistent on an even keel and kind of keep yourself accountable with it as well. So you don't forget and you don't get lazy with the payments and the withdrawals. That's your first step. That's the most important thing I try and teach all the guys that work with me. If you get your head around that concept, that's going to remove that frustration of not knowing why it's good versus why it's bad. You get your head around that concept, and that shapes everything else that you do. It shapes how you train, how you're going to do your rehab, you know, how often you want to play your sports, what you're going to do with the family. It keeps you on that accountable track, and it keeps you out of that constant, you know, good versus bad kind of cycle. But that's the most important thing, is that the amount of work your back can do day to day is like a bank balance. The most important concept when dealing with back pain successfully for the long term. So if you're dealing with back pain at the moment and would like some help, Sydney Back Pain Program, I have sessions available in Sydney CBD and in Bondi Junction. So if you need some help, get in touch with either the link below or above, depending on where you're seeing this video. You can apply for a free initial consultation, and we'll have a chat. We'll talk about your back history, maybe look at things that may have worked for you before or didn't work, and we'll identify the things that are depleting your bank balance, and then we'll look at building you a plan of exercises that help build that balance up, so you've got enough to do all the things that you want to do.